Osborne. I'm the editor of Better Homes and Gardens, and today we are joined by two very impressive guests. We have Laura Neese, who is the CEO of PhD Australia. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we have Cindy Diep, who is a copywriter at Howatson and the winner of the B&T 30 Under 30 Creative for 2025 and the Women in Media Rising Star in 2024. Nice to meet you, Cindy.
Nice to meet you too.
Well, today I'd love to kick us off by talking about your career foundation and what really sort of drove your approach to career growth.
Oh, do you want me to go first? Or
Go first.
What drove my journey to career growth? Look, I've always been really ambitious and motivated. I've been part of Omnicom for a long time now, for over 10 years, and moved around a lot. So as you do that, you build more and more relationships. And so working with the people that I get to work with every day becomes a real driving force and motivation to succeed and for us all to do well. It's that kind of like team spirit of we're all in it together. So that's been a big part of it for me, and the support system that I have as a result of that, knowing that you've got good people that you can go and have great conversations with and get to a really brilliant outcome together is also a big driving force. But also the clients that we get to work with, like we're really fortunate. I've worked across OMD and I've just recently moved into PhD, and throughout that time, I've got to work with leaders in the industry, challenger brands, and see really different perspectives as well. But ultimately, it's a small industry, so you get to work with a lot of people and connected people as well. And that also enriches experience too. It's really comes back to people because, and I've actually I've been at PhD for just over 6 months now. A big part of that was setting the vision for the agency. When you look at the vision, it's about what you're setting for our people. If our people are motivated, if they're feeling empowered, if they're feeling inspired by what I'm setting, then that for me is success. What I'm starting to see, and we only launched it a couple of months ago, is people starting to say it back to me in meetings and conversations. But also what's been really rewarding for me is also seeing those people that are particularly passionate about a certain area and then proactively coming to the exec team and going, hey, I'm so excited about this innovation work stream. I'd love to put my hand up and can I come and present some ideas to the exec? So it's actually kind of intangible. It's not like a KPI of we hit our revenue target. I believe that will come if you have the right people motivated by a really clear vision. It all then falls into place. So that would be success for me right now. It's early days, but I'm starting to see it fall into place, which is great.
Cindy, how about you? What has kind of shaped your approach to career growth?
Yeah, I guess if I look back at my career, I kind of think of it as a little bit wonky, even though it's been I still feel like I'm in my early days. And it's all been driven by like, if an opportunity arises, what can I learn from that? So I started off as an account manager, then pivoted to being in the creative department, then moved over to being in the PR and health advertising team for a bit at Ogilvy. And now I'm just past my 6 months at Howatson+Company in a really awesome creative team. And what's really driven that is like, as you say, the people. Opportunities to learn from amazing managers and mentors and just seeing like what can I really learn from here and what can I grab. So I've always just been open to opportunities that arise and anything that takes my interest. And I think, being okay with it not being linear sometimes has been, the thing that's been really awesome about how things have turned out.
There's a lot of expectations placed on women in this industry, in all industries, but in this industry. And, we have to be ambitious, but collaborative and resilient and likable and so on and so forth. The list is endless. And there's tension in that balance of, a little bit of column A, but not too much. A little bit of column B, but not too much. How do you tackle that balance? Maybe, Cindy, I'll throw to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that in advertising, it's that old stereotype of being a bit of a boys' club, and having to always be on and loud. And I've come to terms with the fact that sometimes I'm not the loudest person in the room, and it's been tricky navigating that and seeing how you stand out. I think for me, it's figuring out that like it's those one-on-one interactions is where I kind of shine and where I can go a bit deeper and showing up. And I think it's also been in like working in teams with female leadership, like at my old job at Ogilvy, I worked under an amazing ECD, Bridget Young, a group creative director, Nina East, and they really showed me what it was like to be a female leader, showing up vulnerably, authentically, and still like driving teams to success. And I think just seeing that there is a way that you don't have to be the stereotypical, you know, answer or leader or whatever, like that's been for me really empowering to see how I can show up.
It's interesting what you say about the stereotypes, because I always remember going into a CEO role for the first time thinking I had to be a certain person, like a profile or a version. And I had coaching at the time through a lady called Arabella. And she said to me, stop looking at the CEO role through the previous CEO or the previous CEOs. Start looking at it through what's your version of that role. And it really helped me reframe it, because I am extremely open and honest. Anyone in my team knows that. They know my whole life story in the first 3 minutes of meeting me. But that's just always how I've been. I'm really open, because for me, building a relationship with someone in my team is about finding that connection. And so if we have this like stereotype of a CEO who, oh, you don't speak to the CEO, or, they have to be a certain person, like I come with all sorts of experiences and thoughts, and stuff happens through our lives, which is really challenging. And, I've gone through a lot of that in my career. Actually, as I was going into a CEO, I was going through a divorce, and it was like, you got to show up. And so you think, show up and be this person. But inside you're going, I'm not okay today. Like I feel really like hurt or upset or just overwhelmed. But actually I had a really safe space to go in, and I was actually doing a co-CEO role with Sean Whitnell in the OMD role. And we used to sit together with our CFO, who heard a lot, and he would just sit there and make us tea. But we just were really open about it, because showing up and doing something an all agency when you've come from an experience at home, or whatever anyone might be experiencing in any situation, it could be a phone call you've just had before you go into a meeting. Like, you want people to feel in a safe place that they can go, I'm actually not okay today. I need to just have a break, have a minute, or have a conversation with someone and get some support. So I think, to your point, it's really important that we're redefining what those roles look like.
Yeah.
And I feel I've seen a lot of change in that.
And looking at different stages of your career, what do you think people early on in their career might get wrong perception-wise, or what advice do you have to give them beyond?
Biggest learning that we can give our junior people coming into this market is broader context, because with offshoring and automation, it's having a huge impact on entry level. So they're coming in and they're having to learn fast, which means the context, like sitting there and spending time learning the context of the whole business, means we need to give them more time to do that, rather than, say, someone turning up and they're working in search on Pepsi in this team, and that is literally the aperture of the world that they're looking in. So we're spending a lot of the time at the moment, as I said, like setting what the vision looks like. And then we've laid out 3 big bets, which is about pioneering innovation, pioneering effectiveness, and pioneering innovation. And so the reason we've done that is because we want the entire agency working to those 3 big bets, to the vision. Because if you don't have everyone working together, they don't understand the bigger picture of why we do anything.
I feel like I'm talking so selfishly because you have such great macro perspectives, and I'm like, well, my little experience. But one of my past managers and mentors gave me this awesome advice, like, think of careers as like you're kind of in a swim lane. Like, you're focusing on yourself. The minute you start looking over at someone, you might, and compare growth and how people the trajectory of people. I think when you're younger and starting out, it's easy to think that everyone grows the same way, is where I'm trying to get at. And I think stepping back and seeing that careers can go any ways. Like, I think there's all those stats about how many different careers someone might have in a lifetime now because of that. But it's like focusing on your journey and the steps you think you need to make. The minute you look over, that might just slow you down. Like, keep looking forward at yourself, I think.
And how do you make sure that you're making the right steps for you then?
Tough question. I don't know. I've always been a weird feelings-based person. But again, my past manager, Bridget Young, when we would work together, she'd always drill in on me like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, I think that was a really good experience working, when you've got managers and people who want to help you, like being a bit clear on what you want, they'll be able to help you in that sense, like it can be a bit hazy sometimes, but I think overarching, knowing where you want to head, like, and having some of that helps you get there.
Cindy, do you have any examples of a moment where you've led something or been responsible for something? And
when I was at Ogilvy, me and a couple other of the creative women in the department started an initiative called CCD, which was all about retention of creative women in the creative department and how we can train them to be future leaders. And that kind of just spurred from like a chat between ourselves of, if we can't see leaders like us up there, how can we aspire to and be inspired to grow? So, we came up with this whole internal business plan, I'd say. We pitched it to our ECDs and our managing director, who were also for it. And we came up with this whole, training plan and things that we'd love to do with the women. So we did. We took everyone out to an improv workshop to trust what you're saying in a meeting. We held talks about progression chats and how to handle those kinds of conversations. And that kind of led us to have a Q&A session with Liz Taylor, Ogilvy's global CEO. And so that was such an amazing experience, and just like seeing what that, like helping out others like us in a sense, seeing that the business wanted to back us as well, like agencies want this kind of initiative, but also just figuring out how to, stakeholder management and how that stuff all kind of works. I think one of the biggest learnings from that was like how important execution of those kind of ideas are as well. Like we talk about it in advertising and creative, about the craft of bringing things to life. But it was fun to see that even in people-related matters, like holding these workshops and how you do them, where you do them, like making sure you're listening to what people want and giving them the things that they're interested in, like that kind of craft and excellence actually holds true to even people-centered events. So that was like, I learned a lot from that.
Yeah. Now, Cindy, you're an award winner. What does winning look like for you in the industry?
Get it off on the stage. No. Winning, it's a weird, funny question. I think like when it comes to career, I guess, winning to me is just like maintaining momentum and making sure I'm never like feeling too stuck or stagnant. And I kind of threw it up before, like being a little bit uncomfortable and being surrounded by people that I know I will constantly be growing and learning something from. So I think from a career standpoint, making sure I'm growing in those ways is like winning for me at the moment. When it comes to the everyday work, it's like, is it entertaining me, or do I feel like I'm putting all of myself into this? Like, I think it's our everyday work. Like we should enjoy it. And I think from an industry standpoint, it's like community, like connecting to others like ourselves and having these kinds of conversations. And like, that's the kind of stuff that will take you far, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Laura, what does winning look like to you?
It's not too dissimilar, because you're right. It's like, it's great to get the wins, but it's all short term, like you win a piece of business, great, you celebrate it. Next thing, it's all about onboarding it. Or you win an award, it's great, you go back to the office, and then it's, the stuff that stays with you is the stuff that you feel, So I always think when I stop enjoying this, then I'm not winning anymore. Like if I find work, if I feel like, if I had the Sunday dreads and I think, I don't want to come to work today, or I don't want to come this week, then that's when that's time to look at something else. So I feel that we're lucky in the sense that if we're feeling passionate and excited about what we're doing, and look, AI and innovation and automation rather is huge, and it can feel overwhelming to people. It's probably the biggest change we've had since the internet. Like everyone is trying to grapple and get their heads around it. But those that lean in and go, do you know what? I'm going to learn it. I'm going to understand it. I'm going to think about how I can apply it. They're the ones that are going to win. And so you can't just force yourself to do that. It's like when you're at school, you get bored of a subject and you just don't do well. The ones that you really enjoy, you do really well at, and that's how you figure out what you want to do when you're older. So for me, like, winning is feeling excited and enjoying my career, but also not to the detriment of my family and my personal life. And I think a lot of people sit there and go, I feel like I'm sacrificing that too much. We work really hard. We work extremely hard and we work long hours.
Yeah.
Like, the connection with colleagues also comes, the detriment of personal time. And so you kind of have to be okay with that. Like, I travel quite a bit for work and I'm often working late, but I will always make sure that the kids come first. And then when they're sorted, I'm then doing the work. That comes second. So if I start losing that, then I'm not winning.
100%.
So it's that intangible stuff. That's not the way I'm built. Yeah, I want to win for the agency, but for me, like, winning is all of that
100%.
stuff.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much both for your time. Some super insightful answers there. Thank you for joining us for our Superwoman series by our Media and B&T. It was lovely to talk to you.
And you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's been awesome.